Hi everyone, welcome to Women in Social Action. This is your syllabus chat. Hopefully you had a chance to watch the welcome video already. In this video, I want to give you just a 10-minute kind of highlight of what the important elements of the syllabus are. As I wrote, I really also want you to read it very carefully. There's a lot of, it explains everything that you need to know. And a lot of this will actually be relevant also for other classes, a lot of the front range policies, a lot of the tips. Okay, I do want to start off with a little bit of a word of caution. I worry that there's two misconceptions with this class, right? The first one being that because it's online, somehow it's going to be easier or less work than a traditional class, and that's not true. It's different, but part of my job is to make sure that it's the same amount of work. And the second thing is, with us running in a 7.5 week schedule, it changes some things. So it's not the case that everyone's getting credit for an entire semester of work and only working half semester. It actually means that the workload is double. So I'm also teaching this class on campus, at Larimer campus, and this is basically going through all the same material that you would get in the in-person class, but on a more condensed schedule. I think it'll be fun this way, but I do want to warn you that we're going to be moving quickly, so you need to really allow twice the amount of time that you normally would, okay? And think about really how much time you need to be putting in order to do a good job. So that's just a slight word of caution. On to the fun stuff. Hopefully you've all read the course description that's online. I have some additional things, and I like to highlight the questions. Okay, so what is activism? What types of activism are effective? Let me move my little talking head and see if we can get some more visibility. That looks a little bit better. What are the practical challenges and rewards of organizing for social change? How do activists build alliances and coalitions among diverse groups of women? How do activist politics differ from mainstream politics? How do oppressive states and institutions and cultural norms limit social change? And we actually have a week where we'll talk about working in institutions, which is really fun. And what are reliable indicators or measurements of women's well-being? You should all have the Sean Megan Burns Women Across Cultures, A Global Perspective. We're going to be working through that. There's some supplemental readings as well that are going to be uploaded on D2L. If you look under content, one of the sections is reading, and whenever you see on the syllabus a mark that that a reading is in parentheses D2L, that means that that's where you'll find it. It won't be in your textbook. You know, I want to make sure that everyone knows that the nature of an online class is that you have to participate, right? I can't tell that you've watched the video, so just watching the video is not enough. You need to be up in the discussion boards, you need to be processing, you need to be contributing to the class and contributing to your classmates' learning as well. That's part of it. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that most of us do know what is appropriate behavior in online classes, but might have more trouble if it's your first online class, keeping track of the workload and things like that. And I'm gonna work very hard to try to make that as smooth as possible for everybody. The major components of what you're expected to do, right? Everyone wants to know how they're being graded. First of all, the discussion posts. Now, the discussion posts will be related to both the lectures and the readings, so that's really where you show that you've done the work. That's the weekly work. I have kind of a fun assignment that I'll explain in the next video that you watch. That's your YouTube video. And that is really your opportunity to teach the class, contribute something, raise awareness on an issue that hopefully you feel strongly about, but I have selected some topics that I think are really important that go with the weekly course schedule. There is an essay, a midterm essay, And there's also a final project. Now, going down, the midterm essay is a proctored exam. Now, you are going to be allowed to bring in one sheet, so I strongly encourage you to prepare, to write down whatever you need, but you are going to do it in a testing center, and that's just one of the requirements of an online class, so that I actually know that the person who is taking the class has shown up and shown an ID in some way. Okay, but it's a really fun essay where you describe your own version of utopian society. You know, the beginning of the class can get a little bit heavy, a little bit depressing, where you learn about all the problems in the world. And I find it's really helpful for us to conceptualize what an ideal world might look like as a creative exercise. The final project is a little bit more concrete. It's called Experimenting with Activism, and you are going to be asked to design, conduct, and evaluate some kind of public action that raises consciousness about an important social issue. You know, some things that have worked well in the past are things like a teach-in, even an open letter, something small. And remember that this is really just the start of what I hope is a lifetime of civic engagement for everybody. Moving down, I do encourage you to read the academic integrity piece, but more importantly, I'll be giving you a lot of the skills that you'll need to be able to write papers effectively, to be able to cite sources properly. So by the time we get there, you should have what you need and know in some detail. I try to think about teaching students how to cite more generally rather than just preventing plagiarism. So we can talk about that, and I will have some activities available for you and some handouts too. The drop for non-attendance issue is very important, okay? And I know I wrote it in my intro video too, so that everybody knows you must complete something to demonstrate that you are actually taking this class by March 18th. It's sort of a bummer for the Larimer people because it is spring break, but all I need you to do is just the intro activity. Just introduce yourself, just so that I know that you're here, you're actively participating. Now, with that said, the spring break thing makes the beginning of the class a little bit strange. So we are starting during Larimer spring break, and the following week is Westminster and Boulder spring break. So week 1 is actually going to take 2 weeks, and depending on when your spring break is, you can do it the other way, but for the Larimer people who are on spring break, you do need to do something by Friday, March 18th. Okay, if anybody has any disability notes, please do let me know. I think that with religious observance, please let me know if there's something I'm not aware of. Passover is April 22nd, but you really should be able to work around any kind of holiday, issues you're having, just with the inherent flexibility of an online course. We do have a deadline on 4/20, but you'll have to just deal with that, okay? And St. Patrick's Day, I shouldn't forget either. So those non-major celebratory holidays don't count, unfortunately. All right. The course outline, this part really is your Bible. You should be looking at this every day. I recommend that you print it out and read along with it, because it tells you the readings that you need to do, the lectures you need to watch, what kind of planning sessions you're going to be doing, as well as what the available YouTube videos are for that week. So as you look down, it goes Introduction to Cross-Cultural Women's Studies, and that is that 2-week week 1 that I was describing, where we're sort of awkwardly bridged over the 2 spring breaks. So it's going to be during the space of 2 weeks, but because people are on spring break, it's actually 1 week worth of content. Meaning that by week 2, which is actually 1 week, that's the workload, that will be the same workload that you'll have. Week 2 is about the gender division of labor. Now you'll notice as you go through that I have the readings, then I have activist tools. Those are the lectures for you. I hear my 4-year-old in the background, I'm sorry. So those are the lectures that you'll be working through, and I've tried to couple them sort of one, well, I don't know if I've done a completely good job, but I've tried to couple sort of historical tools or tools from the pre-digital era with some digital tools to give you an idea of how we can translate. So look through this, get an idea, and start thinking about what YouTube videos you might like to sign up for. The next thing that we're going to be doing is picking our topics and signing up for YouTube videos. Okay, have a great class, and please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Just because it's online, I am still available. My office hours, I have office hours on the Larimer campus Tuesdays from 11 to 12. I'm also available on Skype and on at the Westminster campus by appointment. Unfortunately, I don't have any office hours at the Boulder County campus right now. So please feel free to get in touch with me. Feel free to come see me in person. I'm here, I'm a real person. And I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you.